This PowerPoint is from the Tools of the Mind curriculum. Today's PowerPoint focuses on interdependence on the prairie. Every animal and plant is important in the delicate balance of the prairie ecosystem. If one of these living things disappears, the whole ecosystem will change. Let's think about one prairie animal, the prairie dog. Without knowing it, this small creature helps its whole ecosystem. Prairie dogs dig long underground tunnels with many rooms. These tunnels are called burrows. Think about it. How do you think living underground helps prairie dogs? What do tunnels shelter them from? Many predators on the prairie, like coyotes, ferrets, and hawks, depend on prairie dogs as a source of food. Underground burrows help protect prairie dogs from becoming a tasty snack for these predators. Prairie dogs are important for the whole prairie ecosystem. When prairie dogs migrate to a new area, the tunnels they leave behind become shelters for other animals such as burrowing owls and badgers. More than 150 kinds of animals use prairie dog burrows for protection from predators and to stay warm during the cold prairie winters. Prairie dogs' burrows also help prairie plants. When prairie dogs dig holes in the dirt, it brings air to the soil and allows water to soak through. Their waste adds nutrients. With all the extra air, water, and nutrients in the soil, plants like grass can grow big and strong. Think about it. How do you think grass and other plants help the prairie ecosystem? Deep grass roots hold the soil together. Without them, the soil could wash away in the rain or blow away when it's dry and windy. By keeping the soil in place, prairie grasses allow other plants to grow. Grasses also provide food for herbivores like the pronghorn antelope. Think about it. If prairie dogs disappeared, what would happen to other plants and animals on the prairie? If prairie dogs disappeared from the prairie, the whole ecosystem would fall out of balance. Without prairie dogs, all the other animals, such as badgers and burrowing owls that depend on prairie dog burrows for shelter, would struggle to hide from predators and stay warm in the winter. What's more, without the air, water, and nutrients from prairie dog burrows, grasses and other plants wouldn't grow as well. Since grass roots hold together the soil, the dirt that plants need to grow could even blow away in the wind, turning this prairie into a desert. Think about it. What would happen to the herbivores if there were fewer plants? With fewer plants to eat, herbivores would struggle to find enough food. Many of these animals would leave the prairie to find other places with enough plants to eat. Think about it. With fewer herbivores and other prey animals on the prairie, what do you think would happen to carnivores like the coyote? If plants don't get enough nutrients and air, they die. When plants die, herbivores leave to find their food somewhere else. If there are fewer herbivores, there is less food for carnivores like the coyote. So, if prairie dogs disappeared, it would affect the whole prairie ecosystem, from the plants to the herbivores to the carnivores. Scientists are working on preserving prairie dog lands so that this doesn't happen. By doing so, they're protecting the entire prairie ecosystem. All of the animals and plants in the prairie contribute to the ecosystem. They're what we call interdependent. They need one another to survive in their ecosystem. Think about it. Can you think of a way that animals or plants contribute to another ecosystem that we learned about? Here are the glossary words of the vocabulary that we learned about in this PowerPoint. Can you point to the desert? Point to the roots. Point to the badger. Point to the pronghorn. Point to the coyote. Point to the grass. Point to the prairie dog. Point to the prairie. And finally, point to the prairie dog burrow.